Hello there, people. This is Moltrap again, coming at you with Game 2, and I'm sorry again that it took so long to get to the next game. Game 1. Game 1 was just too epic. I couldn't do any other games that day. I was just like, wow, that was my share of epic for the day. No, again, I just, like I said in that game, I'm kind of short on time here and there, and so, it's, uh, it's not easy for me to squeeze games in, I guess. And yeah, people came home. I don't have my own apartment anymore, so I have to be at the whim of other people that are living in the house now. So anyway, yeah. First of all, before we get into this is game 2 of Much versus Luxury, and if you haven't seen game 1, Jesus Christ, go watch game 1. That was awesome. Just completely ridiculous game. I do want to make a bit of a clarification, I guess, here, okay? There's a bunch of discussion about acid spores and ensnare and stuff in the things. I did get it a little bit wrong, but I think some of you guys got a little bit wrong too. Okay, so acid spores, yes, I didn't mention this before. Acid spores, which are the purple thingies that the Devourers shoot out onto air units. Acid spores do also lower the rate of fire of the units that they target. They do damage, obviously, when the Devourers hit, and they lower the armor of that unit so that even into negative armor numbers, so that more damage is done to those units. But they also do slow the rate of fire, and I didn't mention that they do slow the rate of fire down. However, Ensnare also slows the rate of fire of most units. There's actually a couple units that don't get slowed down by Ensnare, like I think Goliaths, possibly Ultralisks, don't get slowed down by an Ensnare, but a lot of units do get slowed down by Ensnare. So people that were saying, oh, Ensnare doesn't slow the rate of fire, just their movement rate, well, oftentimes the primary effect, the most obvious effect is that their movement rate is slow, but it does slightly lower their rate of fire as well. So, combination being a Corsair with nine acid spores on it and an ensnare on it is going to be precisely ridiculously slow, in an exact manner of speaking. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully that clarifies it for people. And again, I'm sorry if I didn't mention that acid spores do also lower the rate of fire, and that's cumulative too, I believe, as far as every acid spore decreases the rate of fire a little bit more, just as it decreases the armor a little bit more. Anyway, so moving on, now that that's settled, probably not even going to see any more Devourers or anything like that for the rest of this game, but we got, for the rest of this, well, I guess, who knows what we're going to see, but I'm just saying it'd be ironic if we didn't see any more of those units now that I've bothered to go over it. We do see, it looks like, standard 9 pool from Luxury, standard fast expansion opening for Much here, and he's scouted Luxury very early. Luxury has not scouted Much, so he's not going to be able to know what Much is doing, but I mean, he can pretty much expect it in this kind of a game. He's pretty much going to know that Much is, there's most of the time, probably 90, at least 90, about, I'll go with 90% of the time, maybe even a little bit more, but conservatively 90% of the time, Protoss go with this fast expansion build versus Zerg, unless it's a strange map or something like that. So he's pretty much going to expect what's going on, and he also knows exactly what Much is doing because he knows that Much has scouted him, and he knows how Much is going to react to what he is doing, and that's exactly what he is doing. So Luxury has sent out some more than 6 Zerglings actually, and Much is going to have to try and block his door here, putting down a gateway in that gap. So that's really, really nice door. There's not really any way that Luxury is going to be able to squeeze by there. He's not going to be able to do a run by or anything like that. He was mining gas. I'm not sure if he's going for the speed upgrade or if he's going for a quick lair. Actually, he stopped mining gas, so that's what he's done. He's gone for the speed upgrade, and then he switched over. So again, and I've mentioned this in several games previously, recently, but this is what a lot of Zerg players are doing. They're getting that quick gas for an upgrade or something like that, and then switching over to economy build, and so they don't lose too much in the long run, because all they've really lost is the one drone that they had to turn into an extractor, and then they can, if they pull their drones off of that gas to go back to mining minerals, they can get their economy going again. And that's a smart move in this situation because Luxury realizes that he's not going to be able to break Much's door. Much's door is just far too well prepared, and he's not going to be able to do a run by or break through that or anything like that anytime soon. So he's going to switch over and go for more of an economy build. I mean, it's theoretically possible he could just pump powerlings and just try and power down Much's door, but you know, it's probe almost got through there. There wouldn't be anything terribly interesting for Much to see in Luxury's base yet, but it would have been nice for Much to get a probe in there and start running that probe around a little bit more again. Try and see if he can pick up any tech. At least see that there's a lair, and he's not going for just, you know, a 3-hatch Hydra bust or something like that. In any case, so Much has his expansion up here, and Luxury is actually double expanded, so he's going to have a lot of economy going here in just a minute. He hasn't produced any more Zerglings other than those Zerglings that he produced initially, and so he's looking to be in pretty good shape in general. And Much just teching up very quickly. Again, pretty standard fare when you're going for this fast expansion build. You go straight into some Corsair attack. Try and at least get something in the air. Now, lately it's been harder for Protoss to take the air superiority. It used to be that it was the Protoss's it was the Protoss choice whether he wanted to take air superiority or whether he wanted to give it up to the Zerg. And it's still the case a little bit. If the Protoss wants to take, if the Protoss and the Zerg really both want to take air superiority, the Protoss is going to be able to take it. All they need is 2 Stargates, pump out more Corsairs, and they're going to be able to deal with pretty much any air rush that a Zerg can possibly come up with here. Let's see what he puts down. If he's going to, no, I thought he was going to put down maybe a den, a Hydroless den next to that Spire, but he has gone for the quick Spire. And so that's the thing is these days, usually the Protoss don't want to invest in that second Stargate, and so it makes it difficult for the Protoss to actually take that early air superiority. Zergs have been taking advantage of the fact that there's only one Stargate, and they've been getting that quick Spire and really actually just taking air superiority away from the Protoss player. And excuse me, Luxury doesn't even have a Hydra's Den right now, and there's Corsairs around, so he is going to have to depend on these air units. Now, he does have these 3 bases. He's going to be able to get 3 gas going pretty quickly, so it's not completely ridiculous for him to try and do that. And it looks like Much has just decided to just give up air superiority in general. He's gotten that 1 Corsair. He's scouting around with it. He's killing a couple Overlords now. I think this is the 2nd Overlord he's killed with it. But actually, maybe he killed one with a Dragoon earlier. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. But he's, I guess, decided not to. And again, maybe because he didn't want to invest in that 2nd Stargate and get a lot of Corsairs. Because then that does leave you vulnerable for a ground push later on. If you get a lot of Corsairs and then they decide to switch over to mass Hydras or something like that, it can be it can be pretty bad. And here's a 3rd Overlord. Jesus Christ! Finally, the Scourge is chasing down that Corsair after 2 or 3 Overlords go down. And Much may even be able to save that Corsair at this rate. Interception Corsair is actually running in. They might be able to cut off that Interception Scourges, rather. They might be able to cut off that Corsair. Let's see if he's... Oh, yes, coming from both sides. Nice! Nicely done. Nicely done. I think he lost a Scourge that he didn't need to, but still, that was pretty sweet. Putting those Scourges in the path and flying them in from both sides, that was nice. Very nicely done. So that early Corsair is gone. That's going to cut off all of Much's scouting